poster.
Okay. That's actually not too bad at all. Sarah, do you mind if I use yours?
No, ma'am, you can use it.
All right, so when you get to your study page, is this what the page looks like for y'all when you log into Sona and you click on your study page?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're going to go down to download survey responses. And
Okay.
this is actually good, Sarah, because I needed to use an example to talk about these assignments coming up. So you're going to go to download responses. You don't need to download the question key. I mean, unless you do need to download the question key. I mean, the question key basically tells you what question, like the full question for each section. Hold on, let me just download it and I'll show y'all. Okay, I would recommend you download it as a, oops, no, here we go. You can download it as a CSV file. It's going to change into an Excel file. Or you can just do, I mean, if you want to take a quick look at it, you can always just do like on-screen data. It'll show you everyone who has taken the test. So all the different rows, like these rows, are a person. And all the columns are your questions.
So what you just pulled up is actually my data?
Yeah. This is actually your data, but let me show you. That's just a quick way to look at it on screen. What you really need to do is download it as a CSV file. Hold on. Let me reshare my screen so y'all can literally see like all the steps and what it's going to look like. Okay, so let me save this, I guess, to my desktop. And something that I would recommend is that when y'all do download it, go ahead and attach a date to the end of, the file name, just because you'll probably be downloading like multiple files, or you might be downloading the same file multiple times. You definitely want to use the most recent file. Like, don't try your best not to get it mixed up. Okay, so it's going to put it in this nice little Excel file.
So we need to be doing like when we download these things, even though people could still like keep taking our study or whatever, we just still need to download what we have already done to do these assignments.
Yep.
Okay.
I want you to go ahead and just download what's already there, because it's going to be super easy to, once you like understand the assignment completely, it's going to be really easy for you to just go back and add the rest of the data.
Okay.
So this is what I think makes it a little bit easier. Whenever you download this, go ahead and take off the things that you don't need. So you really, really, really don't need all of this information. You don't need none of this. You don't need their start and end time unless that's important to your study, or how long it took them, unless that's important to your study. But I really don't think that's important to anyone's study. You can recode this as participant.
Oh wait, Mr. Joe, I think your screen might have froze.
Oh, okay, hold on. Is it still showing? Oops. Okay, can y'all see the Excel document? Oh no. Okay, Okay, what about now? Is it frozen? Can y'all see? Okay. Okay, perfect. All right. So this is what it looks like, and I think I've kind of showed y'all. Oh, so did y'all did y'all see me? Did you see anything I did to this document?
No, ma'am, I didn't, but it's okay. I can go back and rewatch. I heard you say like start and end time and then participant and stuff like that. So
Okay.
you
No,
could
it's
just
okay. It's just a couple clicks.
okay.
So this is what it looks like. This is what it will look like when you download it. But you don't need all of this information. You don't need their first name, last name. You don't need the time they started, the time they ended, unless that's important to your study. You don't need how long it took them, unless again, it's important to your study. Now, sometimes this might be important because if they did 3 questionnaires in 1 minute, yeah, maybe the results aren't valid. But I don't think that anyone is going to take the time to do like pretty much a little mini study to see what was the average time that it took participants to take the questionnaire. So if I was y'all, once this is downloaded, I would just go ahead and delete all of these columns to make it a little bit easier to read. And then just recode this as just participant number. Yeah. So now you don't have any identifying information or anything like that. You just have your participant data. Okay. So let's get on the subject of those assignments. Hold on 1 second. So before I move to those assignments, there's a couple of things you can do to make this a little bit easier to read. I'll show you how to change that. So right now, it literally has the answers that you put in there that they selected. You had to put it like this. Okay, so you know I think it's a risk to just put the Likert scale instructions in the instructions, saying that 1 is always and 5 is never or something like that. It is way, I think, safer to go ahead and put like the number, like the Likert scale number and description together. So that's fine. Now, what's not fine is what the system spits out at you. So there's a couple of different ways to change this. You can go in and change it by hand, just to the numbers, and you're going to want to change it to the numbers so you can do your data analysis very quickly. Or you can just do the replace function. Let's just say. Okay, there we go. So that's one way to do it. Just be very careful that you are very careful with, finding the right one and labeling it the right one. So you can go from this to just the number very quickly. You also need to be sure to denote somehow, whether it's, with a highlighter or, with a different colored text or something, the reverse score items. So if you have one question that was like the Likert scale was supposed to be like the opposite of what it actually was, you're going to have to go through and make sure that you put those scores in correctly. So let's just say that for the question about control, this was a reverse score item. So I would go in and highlight this to make sure, and maybe even put a little note right here, reverse score item, to make sure I remember to go back and change, the 2 to a 4, and then the 4 to a 2, this 4 to a 2. So just make sure that your questionnaire, your scale, doesn't have any reverse score items in which the Likert scale is supposed to be the opposite way around. If you do, then I would go in by hand and change all of the scores to what they should be, and do it very carefully. Like most researchers actually go through their data and edit it, not edit it, but they'll go through like very, very carefully and make sure that they didn't miss any data, that they didn't, that they caught everything that they needed to catch. I would, if I was doing a reverse score item, I would actually go through and then like unhighlight it as I fixed it, just to be that extra careful. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. I do have some reverse score items. I don't remember exactly which ones they were, but how for the column upset you were doing, you went and typed just the number 3 and then 1 and then 2 and then 4, whatever. So you're saying for whichever ones across this are my reverse score items, instead of you go over to control, instead of doing 3, I would in that column do 1, and then I would do 4, and then I would do 2, and then 2. I would go ahead and do it right then and there in that column.
Yes, in that column. Yes.
I don't remember which ones were, but I know that I do have some. So when I go back to look, I didn't know if I should make them all even or all equal numbers and then revert. I don't know.
I would. That's and that's a good question. That's a really good question, Sarah. Just kind of troubleshooting this in the moment. I would say step 1, highlight your reverse score items. Step 2, change them right then and there.
Okay.
Because, you don't want to, I just feel like it could get confusing if you change all of them and then go in and change the reverse score items. Whatever works for you. I mean, if you know, and y'all know yourselves, if you know that it's going to be confusing and you're going to lose, halfway through the 40 participants, you're going to lose track of the fact that you were doing a reverse score item or something, do whatever works for you. But I do think step 1 of everyone's system should be denoting that you have a reverse score item here. And, remember that these columns represent the questions. This is question 2 of the PSQR or whatever you used.
Yes, I think I'll just do the highlight thing that you're showing right now. I like that. I'll highlight all my reverse and then I'll go back. I'll just for the first column, if it's not reverse, I'll do it all the correct numbers and then I'll go back to the highlighted and then reverse all of them. So
okay. Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. If that's a good system, that's probably what I'll do.
Yeah, that'll be good. And so when y'all actually submit this, when y'all submit your assignment for I don't know if it's assignment 8 or 9, I'm gonna go in and audit some of your data just to make sure it's correct. So I'm actually gonna go in, download your data, pick 10 random ones and make sure that they're correct. So you'll have that like added security blanket there. Sarah, I'm looking at your validity question and it looks like you already have like you have one case to throw out.
Because they got it wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yep. But yeah, that's that's why. And yours wasn't even in the middle of a questionnaire. It was literally the third question that they answered.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, you'll go in and
So, correcting like what you're talking about right now, this is for this is like one of the assignments that we need to turn in, or that is before we need to turn in one of the other assignments.
Before I answer that question, let me go to the assignments themselves.
Okay, I don't really remember, but I was just struggling to even find for the raw data. Oh, you just
Yeah, no problem. Let me make sure.
Oh yeah, Vaughn made a good point. He said for the raw data, you just wanted the file unedited. So like what you just did, unedited, submitted.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Let me double check because I don't want to. These small nuances kind of change semester from semester, so let me just make sure that's what I put for this one, and that would be assignment. Yes. Hold on. Sorry. No. And this is kind of the point of the semester where it's less about the assignment and more about what is going to help you. So let's look at assignment 9 real quick. 8. Okay, there we go. Let's look at assignment 9. And then I'll kind of explain why I'm saying no right now. So assignment 9, I have these little tables that I made. And please feel free to change them. But I have these tables that are kind of meant for you to take your raw data and put into a sheet that really kind of like separates it. If you notice with that raw data, all the questionnaires are together, right? I'm going to share my screen again because I don't want to hop back from thing to thing. One second, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna minimize Big Blue Button and I'm just like on my desktop. So let me know when y'all can see my screen. Can y'all see my screen? Okay. Sarah, if you can actually use your mic because I'm not going to be on the Big Blue Button page, if you don't mind.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, so if you notice when you like get this download from not SPSS from the Sonus system, all of your questionnaires are kind of mushed together, right? Like there's really no you would have to basically know your study and know your questionnaires very, very well to be able to delineate, okay, this is where one stops, this is where one ends. Now, Sarah, yours is a little different, and I think you're lucky because, you can tell the difference of where you can tell where yours stops and starts. You can tell that this is probably all one questionnaire, and this is the second questionnaire. But everyone else is not, well, is this the second questionnaire?
I can't really tell from your screen, but I know that if you see at the top of mine, you see how it says control, nervous, confident, code, all that. Well, on my like hard copies of my PSQI and PSS little things, I like highlighted what like one specific word out of each question, and that was it. So like I know for my first question the keyword is upset, so I know that that's the first question, so I can go all the way down to my last question on my PSS survey and see where it ends. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It makes perfect sense, and that's good. That's good. I think that's a great system that you made. I don't know if everyone else made a system like that. So it can be.
I just kind of did that on accident because I didn't know what keyword or whatever to put. So I just highlighted keywords in my, like, I didn't do it. I mean, it's going to help me now, but I didn't do that on purpose.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, that was a good mistake. And honestly, I don't think a lot of people actually code the question. So the question, you're going to have to go in, really like look to see what question is for what questionnaire. Now, what I can tell you is that it didn't mix up all your questions. So you just need to figure out where your questionnaire start and stop. So, Sarah, I can tell that this is your demographics questionnaire, and this is where your, I don't know, it's the PSQR or PSS, whichever one, that's where it starts. So these data tables are kind of meant to help with that. These data tables are essentially the same thing, but color. So the first thing to know is that at the bottom there's different ones. So if you're doing like an independent samples t-test, if you're doing a Pearson correlation, just pick your test. Let's just say you're doing a Pearson correlation. Okay. I hope this makes sense. I hope it's not confusing. But it's color coded for your demographic data, and then your actual questionnaires that you're going to use for your inferential statistics. So for example, Sarah, let's just say you have male, female, like you have gender as a demographic question, you have age. I'm actually going to put it in order of your question. So age, you have gender, then you have enrollment status, and then you have your validity question. I just want y'all to literally copy and paste it here. Yeah. Copy and paste it. And then, you can use the painter tool, keep the one right above it, or the color right above it. It's just a way to help you differentiate your data a little bit better. However this helps you, use it. But this also does a second thing. It will make you look at your data more than once, so you can start that little audit process. So let's just copy and paste. But I literally just want you to copy and paste and make sure that your data is in the right spot. So something else I want you to do is start summing your data up. Now, let's take another look back at this this download. So this is all one questionnaire, right? This is all the let's just say it's PSS. This is all the PSS. What you don't have is the participant score. You don't have the participant score just yet. You can do this a couple of different ways, okay? You can either go in hand by hand and go in like for each participant and add it up. So you'll do, and I've had people do this many different ways. I've had one person literally write it out hand by hand because they just didn't want to make mistakes. I've had one person just put it straight from here into a calculator. And then I've had some people do what I did earlier, change it all to the numbers, and then use Excel to do like an auto formula. So,
sure.
oh, yep.
your screen is frozen again. I don't know why it keeps freezing on me. Are you going? I'm listening, but so are you going vertical or horizontal when you're saying participant?
Let me reshare my screen because it is critical that y'all see this.
Okay, I don't know if it's still frozen for Vaughn, but it like I can hear you, but your little cursor is.
Yeah,
Oh
this
yeah,
is
it was frozen.
it's frozen still.
Okay, so move your cursor. Let me see.
Oh wait, let's see. Hold on. Oh, it's wait, no, it would have been frozen. Never mind.
Okay, now I can see you.
Sounds good.
So
I know I had say that again, Sarah.
oh no, I was just gonna say. So when you were talking about the pink column on the other Excel or whatever, and you went to say you sum up the participants. You were going horizontal, correct?
Yes, because each row, each like horizontal row is one person.
Yes.
So you don't have their score. So let's just say that these are all your hold on. These are all your PSQH question or what PSQI questions, right?
Right.
You don't have their score.
Right.
So I've had some people go in and literally add up like 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3 and then have that number, and they would do it by hand. But let's just take an easier route here.
Now that's after I do my reverse scores.
Yes, that is
Okay.
after you. Yes, that is after you do your reverse scores.
Okay.
Let's just do something. And I'm gonna replace all of these. And either way, I'm not saying that one way is better. I honestly just think it depends on how careful you are. But this is how I would do it. Just change these to like just actual numerals, because once they're changed to numerals, then you can start using Excel functions. And I mean, yeah, it is a lot of leg work at first, but I think it's worth it.
So you have two columns on your other Excel spreadsheet, like the pink or whatever, for two different studies. Is that correct?
I'll show. So those two pink you're talking about for the Pearson run, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Those pink columns are actually for your participant score. So you know how you had two variables for your Pearson correlation?
Right.
So each participant will have two scores. They'll have a score for your PSQI and a score for your PS.
Yes, ma'am. That's okay. That's what I meant. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. So now that my data is all numerical, what you could do, and again, this is really depending on how well you can work Excel and how confident you feel. But what you can do in Excel is have it auto sum your data. So all you have to use is the sum function. You have to make sure you have numerals. You type in equal sum. You highlight the range that you want. hit a close parentheses and hit equal. So now you have your PSQI scores. And again, I would delineate this column maybe even with the color that you picked in your Excel file, in that other Excel file. So that way you can just know that, okay, I need to copy and paste this into the Excel file. Once you do the first one, you can literally just drag it down and it will auto calculate all of them for you. So now you have all your participants' PSQI scores. You no longer have the individual question data. Now you have their actual scores. So let's just say, this is their PSQI score. I'm going to copy and paste it into the data table. Oh, 1 second. I don't think you can see this. Let me share the other one. Let me know when y'all can see this Excel file.
I can see it.
Okay, so yeah, I've literally copied and pasted the information right into here. So now I have all the participants' data right in here. And this is PSQI scores. So I'm going to do the same thing for, the PSS scores. And put those scores here. The other reason why I want you to put it in this file is because I've already put it in tables. So let's just say, for example, you need to quickly separate the males from females. Well, now you can without worrying about, your data being all over the place or you having to physically or manually do it. The data, when you put it in tables, if it's in rows, the data will stay together. And, we can, you can kind of look and see. So you see the participant numbers, how they're like out of order now. That's because the data stuck with each other.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If that makes sense.
Yes, ma'am. So whenever you change the one column, those flipped because it all went together.
Yes. Yeah, basically, yes. So that's the other reason why I really want y'all to use this because, you might be, it just makes, I think, the descriptive data go a lot easier. So let's just say you're trying to figure out how many full-time students there were. Okay. So let's keep scrolling down. So it looks like it stops on the 40. And please know that like the first row like doesn't count. So it looks like this study had 40 full-time or 39 full-time students and then 2 part-time students. Or 38 part-time students, so 40 full-time students. I think it just makes it a lot easier. Or let's just say that, you have your validity question and you want to quickly see, well, was there anybody who didn't answer green? Yeah. One person didn't answer green. So that's what I want in assignment 9. I believe it's assignment 9. Again, let me double check. Yeah, assignment 9. That's what I want in assignment 9. So let me reshare this. Or you can just go to the assignment 9 description real quick, everyone. Yeah, and it kind of says please choose the Excel sheet tab that corresponds to the analysis you intend to do. That's what I want there. So now you're going to start taking your data and actually calculating it. Oh, sorry, assignment 11. Sorry, everyone. It's 9 o'clock and we've all had full days. So assignment 9, you really only have to choose which one you want. So what I want for assignment 9, everything that I just said, apply that to assignment 11. Assignment 9 is simply you like downloading that file and picking which one you want and deleting all the other ones, all the other tabs. So like if you're doing a Pearson correlation, then pick the Pearson correlation, and then you can start modifying those labels to reflect like, age, gender, part-time classification. Let's just say you did a happiness assessment. You put happiness score, et cetera, et cetera. So you literally don't have to put the data there. You literally just need to change the labels on top. And then assignment 11, you do need to start putting the data in there.
So you're talking about how like on mine you took off the start time, end time, duration, and like something else, and then you went and changed the other headings.
Yes, good. Yeah, good question, Sarah. Hold on, I'm having to like navigate right back.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
But I want y'all to see exactly what I'm talking about. So it's not even that. It's even simpler. Let's just say that I'm doing an independent samples t-test for assignment 9. All I need to do is go in and make sure that these labels are correct. So I'm gonna pretend that I did gender.
Oh, okay. So the ones you did for mine earlier, the title.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
So
you
I'm
just submit it blank to you, and then the assignment 11 is where you do all the columns.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Submit it blank, but make sure that you have these like
The titles, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then you can go ahead and delete the rest of the tabs that you don't need. Just because I don't want y'all to get confused. It can be confusing. So, just delete the extra tabs.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, let's just say I'm doing happiness score. So yeah, right, independent sample t-test. And of course, I would have these same things for both groups. For both groups, happiness score. And then I would, delete these sheets. And then once I only have this independent samples t-test tab left, I would submit it. I would upload it. That's what I want for assignment 9. Pretty simple stuff, but I just kind of want y'all to like prep yourselves, pretty much just get ready. At the same time, you can kind of start like looking at your data. Go ahead and figure out how to download your data. Look at your data, start getting familiar with it. And then in assignment 11, that's where you're going to start putting in the legwork and putting in that data. Now, real quick, let's go over assignment 8, which is the poster choice. So the poster is very, very, very important. Super important. It's as important as your paper. Not necessarily assignment 8, but just the poster in general, because this is what you're going to be presenting to everybody. So assignment 8 asks you to basically pick one of the templates that either you like or you feel best suits your research study. And then start filling out what you can. How do you know to fill out what you can? Well, you can definitely fill out the introduction and the method section. Actually pause. You can fill out the introduction when I'm done grading it, but you can definitely start on the method section right now. So you can start on the method section, start on the introduction. You can't really do much more than that. until you analyze your data. Once you analyze your data, we're going to fill in the rest of the poster. So right now, you just basically need to fill in the introduction and the method section. And I think the poster templates that they have kind of give you a good idea of what all to put. Some of them are a little scarce. I would say like you definitely need complete sentences. Like don't be fooled by that. You need complete sentences. I'm gonna actually post a really good example. Actually, I might change those templates a little bit. I got those templates from my other professor like maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago, and I feel like we've had better posters since then. So I'm gonna post some more templates that I think are a little bit higher quality. But do use complete sentences. Do try to fill up the poster. I know people say you don't want the poster to be wordy, but you don't want it to just have bullet points. Like this is supposed to pretty much mimic like a professional symposium. So don't have paragraphs, but don't have bullet points, if that makes sense. I'm gonna take a little bit of time either tomorrow or tonight to post a better example, or just to make sure that the templates that are up there are pretty quality. And let me check on our agenda. The only other thing I kind of want to talk about and make reference to is the descriptive versus inferential statistics. Okay, y'all. So there's a difference, and we kind of touched on this already. Descriptive statistics pretty much just give a summary of your data. So they're not saying that these two variables are related or this variable is significantly different than this variable. It's nothing like that. That's inferential statistics, and that's what you're going to do with your scores from your questionnaires. That's what you're going to analyze. Everything else, talking about your data spreads, talking about your mean scores, your mean age, how the standard deviations lie within your data, those are descriptive statistics. And those are what you're going to use for your participant section, as well as for your results section. But you're only going to use descriptive statistics in the sense of talking about your data spread. So let's just go back to that little happiness score example I gave. I'm going to talk about group 1 had a mean score of this with a standard deviation of this. Group 2 had a mean score of this with a standard deviation of this. There were this many people that answered this way, this many people that answered this way. So that's just giving data summaries about your data. That's not actually giving any insight to your hypotheses. And next week, I'm going to talk about hypotheses testing a little bit more. I'm going to talk about statistics a little bit more in general, just because I think there's a disconnect between the statistics class and then this. And then I know some of you are really confused about the fact that you saw probably in other stat courses and other psych courses, fail to reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis. And you're like, well, where does that fit into this? I'll explain it. It's not something you have to explicitly put in your paper. You can make reference to it when you're talking about it in your results section on your poster presentation, but you don't write like that. So really writing and talking like that is good for a statistics course and good for doing statistics homework. But when it comes to research, it's just translated a little bit different. So yeah, we can give a little nod in your presentation to just doing the statistics or the hypothesis testing within your experiment. That's fine. We can talk about your decision to reject your null hypothesis or accept your null hypothesis because the p-value was this and your test statistic was this and it means this. But you're really going to expand on your results in a different kind of way. So we'll talk about all of that next week, because I really do want to make sure that everyone, one, kind of understands the difference between all the information that's been thrown at you over the past couple of years when it comes to statistics and research, and then two, that how to talk about it. So just knowing like how to talk about the p-value, knowing how to talk about the degrees of freedom, like literally knowing what the test statistic is, and being able to talk about that freely, not just off of a script. So that's also kind of why I want to do those little individual meetings too. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of wrap it up here, y'all. Do y'all have any questions about like anything at this point?